More than just a pretty face. In Their Closet podcast with Lisa L. Moore.
And I'm your host, L. Moore.
L's podcast discusses how we feel on the inside versus what is displayed on the outside.
These trendsetters challenge you to declutter your mind and alter the way you think.
Join the conversation as L speaks with guests about couture careers, fashion, love, and labels.
I just want to say you are always so supportive. I remember from the first time when I did that first keynote.
My agenda is to make well known of the many talented women that I have been blessed to meet and collect over the years.
Out of the box dialogue sure to leave a mark on your soul. This is In Their Closet podcast.
Welcome to In Their Closet. I'm your host, L. Moore, and today we're joined by Tonya Kelley and Rechelle Nyanteh. Welcome, ladies.
Hi. Hola.
So I've invited two of my oldest friends to come on the show because we're talking about love, but most importantly, we're talking about friendship, which I think is probably the basis for any relationship. And in our social world that we live in, the importance of friends, but understanding that everybody that you follow on social media is not your friend. And I know Facebook tells us we're friends, but that's not the word. So I kind of wanted to just have a fun conversation about that because recently I had a birthday dinner. It was a Boss Babe celebration for me becoming a realtor, and I invited a lot of entrepreneurs that I know. I invited a lot of realtors that I know and people in the real estate field. We just kind of had a conversation about the culture of real estate, which is to be really supportive. And there's not a lot of competition in real estate because it's so much land. Everybody can get rich. And I just wanted to remind the ladies of that culture, but most importantly about supporting each other and how you don't have to necessarily be best friends to support another woman's business, to promote her page, to like her post. And we're just going to piggyback on some of those conversations because I thought it was a cool topic at the table. What did you guys think about the dinner celebration?
I mean, I thought it was fun, and I enjoyed meeting the other ladies. I thought they were all very transparent about their journey in obtaining their business, so it was cool to me.
Yeah, I believe the ladies all seem pretty genuine as well, and everyone is trying to reach that ladder, and a good support system is really what we all need, and so coming back to that table was a good conversation and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, the vibes were good. I feel like I curated with my invitation list the right women that I knew would have like this kind of good-hearted energy, good authentic conversations, genuine kindness, like good vibes.
Yeah, everybody had good vibes. No negative people in the
walk away
bunch.
Still feeling more encouraged rather than discouraged or competition or any of that type of thing. And too many times that we as friends and women and or wherever we are in different relationships, we feel like we're competing, and that is the nature of a lot of times it's holding us back. So I definitely felt a good vibe there.
Okay, so let's cheers to friendship once we're getting started on this podcast. Ladies, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. This portion of the podcast is being sponsored by Bombay Sapphire. Thank you so much, DJ Superstar, for the Bombay Sapphire. Yes. And thank you, Bombay Sapphire, for this particular custom bottle. It's beautiful in my home, and we're enjoying our drinks today. So thank you so much. And thank you, ladies, for being here because I wanted us to continue the celebration of friendship. And let's start off with how we know each other. Tonya, why don't you go first?
Okay. Well, of course, we know each other from actually work in a mutual friend at the time. So working at Dave & Buster's in our 20s.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we worked at Dave & Buster's. Dave & Buster's was like my first official grown-up job.
I remember that.
So yeah, that's where we know each other from.
But Tonya and I met because my sister-in-law helped me get the job there. My sister-in-law and Tonya were really good friends. And then along the way, I just snatched her up for myself.
That's how you do.
Right. And then Rechelle, I kind of did the same thing with you.
Yeah, that's why I had to go ahead.
How did we meet?
I don't know. I mean, I know we lived in the same area. We grew up and we started out when y'all first moved to Houston, I think. So, but, through your sisters. So, of course, hanging out with them. And then, I don't know how me and Lisa came to be. I think we just happened to, I know we ended up living together.
My sisters called me and said, Rechelle can Rechelle come and stay with you? And
That's exactly
I was
what
staying
happened.
by myself. I was scared to death. I was praying every night. It was so tough. I was like, God, send me a roommate.
You got one.
Yes.
Exactly.
So I was 19 and Shanae came to stay with me. And then after that, we was in the streets. We was running Houston.
Wow. We have a picture with all of us.
All of us.
Yeah.
From like a long time
I love
ago,
that
like
picture.
in our 20s.
Yes.
A baby.
It's us. It's Michelle Epps, Michelle McCain, and it's my sister Michelle, and the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that picture. I need to try to find it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So actually, Rechelle and Michelle helped me because I was so green. I had just had my boyfriend from high school. I got pregnant. I was so upset with him. We broke up. I didn't have any experience with guys. So Rechelle helped me. Like, listen, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna do this.
I did.
This
You
the
was
makeup.
putting up on game?
Yes.
I mean, the little game that I had.
Yeah, more than me. I grew up in a bubble.
Yeah, you did.
We like practically grew up together. Then Rechelle and I, when we finally got married, we got married like 2 months apart from each other.
Oh, really?
And then our husbands became friends.
Oddly.
Yeah.
Odd.
And then right around the same time, we both wanted divorces at the same time.
We did. And we went to Mexico.
Did y'all go through a divorce at the same time?
Yeah, we did.
I really endured.
He ended up convincing me, like, let's make it work. And I was like, okay. But it was the 10-year mark.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we were young. I mean,
We were.
not having the best marriage, like going through marriage.
Growth.
And,
Maturing
the right growth,
and
maturity, or even understanding marriage totally as a whole. So going through that and not having as many friends married at the same time.
Yeah.
It, that also hinders you in your growth. But, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yeah. So I feel like when we got married, like right about the same time, a lot of my friends weren't getting married, so that helped. And then like he wasn't there. I needed some people to hang out with. So that's when Tonya came in. And so I was like, Tonya, what are you doing? So me and Tonya was hanging out. And then one day Tanya's like, I'm going back to school. So I'm not going to be able to hang out anymore. I'm focusing. And I was like, I have nothing to do. I have no one to hang out with. So I went back to school.
Yeah, and that was a good thing. See, I mean, being inspired through different avenues, you know what I mean?
Tonya helped me I went back and got another degree. Thank God for that. That's why you want to have good people around you, because they can influence you to do like positive things. They can influence you to like get married. They can influence you to have a good, successful relationship. They can influence you to have a better career, be a better woman. Accountability is so important. And thanks, you guys have helped me with that. And we also have sisters. And so I think that also helps my friendship with you guys, because when I vent to you, you guys understand like the sibling situation. Like it relates to you.
And some people don't understand that. And
Yeah.
some people pour it in different type of negativity, whereas at the end of the day, this is still my sister.
Right. And
That
you're
doesn't
not gonna you don't want to be the person talking against that relationship, because you understand that at the end of the day, they're gonna always be sisters.
We just want their relationship better.
Yeah.
We want y'all to see things, and it's just the same as with Lisa for me and my sisters, and the same as with her, because even though we don't hang out as much or whatever with the sisters all the time, but I still have love for them no matter what. So I'm not gonna say, hey, this is about, because at the end of the day, you have to make the best decision.
Or like you say, you might vent, but that doesn't mean that you hate your sister. You're just venting
or I
about,
hate them. Because at the end of the day, I still love them no matter what. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and then this is like a vault. Like I know if I vent to you guys, it's not going to be in the streets of Houston.
Right. Yeah.
It stays right here. But like you can can talk to the wrong people, and it could be taken wrong or negative, or it could float around. So
at the end of the day, sisterhood is still important regardless of the blood or the
biological.
Yeah.
I think that initially when I wanted to have this conversation with you guys, it's because I am like such a social butterfly. I meet so many women. I come into contact with so many women, and I love to support other women. The problem is that friendship needs to be earned. I feel like you should give me the right to earn friendship with you, and I should be able to have a right to call you a friend. And that doesn't happen overnight. That doesn't happen because we keep running into each other at parties. Like there is an investment and there's time that's put in. And when you have friendships, you have the right to have raw conversations with your friends. Like when you always have someone who is always agreeing with you, that's kind of a red flag.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think too, it's like what comes in as far as having open conversation is still being respectful of each other. Like you can tell me you don't like something that I'm doing, or you feel like something I'm doing is not the best thing for me, but it's all in how you deliver it, you know, and not being a disrespectful, because some people think that, you know, they can be disrespectful and then later say I'm sorry and then everything is okay.
Right.
And it's not okay.
No,
right.
It's not.
How you argue in your friendship also tells a lot to do with
how you argue in your regular relationship with your man.
Yes, but
yeah,
if we get into an argument and how we fight in that argument, that's going to make or break our friendship. There has to be some respect there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be with a guy who, if he gets upset with me, he wants to go and have sex with all of Houston, or if he gets upset with me,
or
he calls
calling
me
you
every
out your name.
Yes, he calls me every name in the book. Like, you're not. This is not a relationship I want to be in.
I never.
And then you can't say like, baby, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I was upset. Just because you're upset doesn't give you the right to be rude or disrespectful.
Right. Just because you're in your feelings doesn't mean that you have the opportunity to disrespect me because you're in your feelings. Or tear me down.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it could be, you know, if maybe they are having a relationship with someone, and it's not that you don't like, but maybe that you see them being disrespectful or just treating your friend wrong or bad, and then you see your friend keep going back to that situation. And I think you should be able to pull them to the side. Now, I'm the person, I'm not going to harp you on it, but I will at least speak my mind and say, I'm going to say my piece. And then what you do after that is what you do after that. But I'm going to, if I feel like you can do better.
Yes.
And then I'm going to say, girl, I think you can do so much better than him or whatever. You know, you can, you know, you shouldn't be selling yourself short. You know, you're allowing this man to disrespect you or mistreat you. And, you know, I feel like you should be able to say that to your friend.
What do you think, Rechelle?
So, I mean, this is
a true friend.
Yeah.
Because there's some people I would never.
Yeah.
No, because
there's some people ain't gonna say nothing.
They gonna think you have ulterior motive for saying it, or that you're hating because you don't have.
Oh, you want him, don't you?
Yeah. So when I say that, I only mean that in regards to a real friend who's gonna be receptive and understand that I'm coming from a good place.
Yeah.
There's no malintent with me saying it. It's me observing. Now, I'm still going to support you, whatever you do.
Yeah.
Right.
As a friend, like, if you still want to stay with him, I'm still going to support you. I'm not going to be in your ear every day.
Yeah.
Like, leave him, you know.
That's the problem. That right there.
I'm not going to
let some people go through their own.
But I'm going to just say my piece about it, and then I'm going to be done. Like, I'm not going to say nothing else about it. But I feel like,
because you guys were, when I said I'm going to get my divorce, nobody was like, yay. Everybody was like, are you sure that's what you want to do? And whatever you want to do, I support you. And
you don't want to be the friend as a result of someone really getting a divorce. And because you made a sounding, no, listen, y'all was deep into it before I came along. Let's just understand that. However, I'm going to be that listening ear. You know, someone that says, hey, what's your pros and cons? Weigh them out. I remember us having this conversation. What are your cons? What is keeping you there? Is it that bad for you to leave, or is it that bad for you to is it not that bad for you to stay?
Yeah.
Is it things that can be worked out? And only two people know what they can work out and what they can't work out, even though I'm on the outside looking in. My judgment can only be so clear. But if it's just really deep, we're getting different.
And at the end of the day, your friend really knows if they want to stay or if they want to go.
And sometimes people just want to go through that little pain.
Yeah.
Allow them.
Or they just not ready yet to, you know, for whatever is holding them there. They're still not ready to let that go.
Right.
So
that's hard.
The thing that really made me concerned, like more recently, was the young lady who was in the news who went to Mexico with quote unquote friends.
Oh, wow.
And she didn't make it back home. And then when I was reading the news, I think her name was Shanquilla Robinson. When I was reading the news, her mother said that one of her friends that was her friend of 15 years came and sat by her side the whole time, was, you know, there for like the first week or two before they found out what actually happened, because they had told her mom she got drunk. And then come to find out they were fighting. And this whole situation was concerning to me because, y'all, I'm outside and I see people and they'll know you for 5 minutes and they'll call you their friends. And I felt like, you know, this situation here was a situation where these people knew of each other.
Associates.
They were associates. And
or people that just partied together.
Yes.
Sometimes you have people that you don't really seem like they're your friend, but more so like I like hanging out with her because it's for partying reasons.
Yes.
And that's the only thing that you have in common is that y'all go out and party.
Yeah.
That's it. That doesn't mean that that's your friend. That's someone that you just party with.
Right. People that you know that when I'm going to go out, I'll call you if we go out. What are you doing this weekend?
Because sometimes that's the only available type of friend they can be because of other things going on in their life. They need someone at that moment, and that's someone I associate with, someone that is still like, okay, yeah, I don't mind going to have a drink or two with you, this and that, whatever the situation is.
But you don't want to necessarily call them into your personal circle or be telling them your personal
and you got to watch who you talk to in life. Because everybody's not for you. Do you think everybody wants to see you succeed? No. So therefore, you definitely open the doors to your personal life and things like that. You have to be leery of,
I mean, it's just like, hey, girl, good to see you. When we were talking earlier, when we sat here, Rechelle was saying how she had Tonya saved as Lisa's friend. How did you have her saved? Nafisa's friend. But you know what? When I meet people, especially when I meet them in different circles, I save them as like Rechelle's friend.
I do it to everybody. So.
And I do that just because I like to follow like friendship boundaries. If I know you through that person, then
lineage.
Yeah. I like to
lineage. The lineage of the relationship, the friendship.
Like, that's part why it happened. It was Lisa's friend,
right?
Not my friend,
right? But I like to stay in the friendship. Like if I know you through Rechelle, I like to hang out with you when I'm with Rechelle. There has to be a long time before I'm just comfortable calling you my friend and we're one-on-one. And I would rather get to know you through the person that introduced me. I'm real funny like that.
I feel funny, whereas Lisa, that's not her interest. So it's
right,
and that happened.
That's okay. But Lisa knew that. This is what makes me comfortable. If she's not gonna diss and talk about you, then I'm okay hanging out with her.
Right.
So when they start discrediting because of the relationship that they have, then we get different, and then I have to pull back because at the same token, that's not gonna be good for me because I can't be around.
I don't want to be
toxicity,
or just hearing negative talk about your friend.
Ain't nobody talking about my friend and you and me and you hanging out.
Right.
If you talking about my friend, we're done. You're not gonna ever talk about my friend around me.
Those different relationships when we break the lineage or whatever we want to say on that. That's I think it's okay to have friends and mutual friends, but when it gets to a point to where I can't call you to hang out or whatever the situation is, then we got problems. Because and even as I gotten older, I'd be like, hey, I have a friend through another friend. We can talk, but if I feel like that's gonna be the same me. You gonna talk about me too?
Yeah,
we got a problem. You know what I'm saying? This is the growth we have as growing older.
Yeah.
Because definitely I share friends with other friends, but on the cool, like when she asked to go out, okay, well you can't make it, we can't make it.
Right.
And it's not intentional. And that person who's her friend, understood.
Right.
And so it's very, and maybe that's the Aquarius. No, but so I don't have to break down or why you think I'm being we want to hang out. We all should hang out together. If we have plans, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, y'all go ahead and go. I blessed you to be able to go. So when we bless each other in friendships and growth, that means like it's no problem. Sometimes I can't make it to the event or whatever, you know what I mean? But at the same token, we'll cancel your ticket. No, y'all go ahead and go and have a good time.
Right.
Be like, Lisa, you missed it. Okay. Or whatever the situation is. But at the same token, I don't need friends because I'm all about energy.
Yeah.
Energy and vibes.
Girl.
That is so important.
Yes.
I can't, because it's going to make me feel some kind of way. Like, how am I going to be authentic? And we can't have an authentic relationship no matter what. So that's with growing,
Energy is huge for me too with everybody.
You can feel
even if it's somebody I date. It's energy is huge because it transfers, and I don't want nobody wrecking my day or my mood because they came to me like sour grapes. You know what I mean? Or just projecting their own insecurities or issues.
I've seen situations where, say for instance, me and Tonya have a problem, but you know what, Tonya may not know how to come to me and say, now she goes to you, she says, listen, I want to talk to Lisa about such and such. That's different. That's not you kicking out. How should I approach Lisa? Because I don't really know her like you do or know her in this sense.
Right.
That's growth. That's grown folk stuff. And so then look, let's talk to Lisa about
or even venting about a situation that you had with the other friend. You can vent about him as long as you don't start talking.
You
because it's a difference. I've vented to one friend about another friend if I was having a situation with someone, but it was never me bad mouthing.
Yeah.
Because you could be like, well, girl.
Yeah, because we know how that friend is. I'm agreeing with you, girl. You know she always act like that.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna say something? You know how she act.
Right.
And that's where you go. You know, Lisa is special in this area.
Right. You got to look over it. Don't invite her out late at night. Tell her to come an hour early. You know she always late. Like,
all right, y'all got to tell me 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, so like with certain friendships, like she gonna be late, girl, so you better tell her like X, Y, and Z.
Girl, I remember one time you had a birthday party. I was like the only person on time.
I said, well, let me hurry up and
Tonya's always
I know Tonya's gonna
early.
beat me.
I was the only person on time, and they none of them showed up for like an hour.
Right.
I was like, I'm never gonna be on time again.
I remember me and Tonya was at a party. That's how we became really cool, Tonya.
Yeah.
And we were the early ones. Like, where is Lisa? This is good.
We were the two early ones that time.
You know what?
I remember that because we sat right next to each other.
She schooled me on some red wine. I thought I knew
Oh, yeah, Tonya loved the red wine.
Yeah, she was like, look, Nyanteh is what you need to get. I still remember the conversation.
So there is a really cute quote that I wrote down. It says, girl, when you find a sister and someone who is not blood, keep her.
Oh yeah, I think that's so.
Especially like we're like 25 plus years deep in our friendship, but I think like as a woman, you especially like you guys are relatively social. I think that we have no problem meeting people, so that's not even the thing. It's like very fun to meet other women. Okay, talk, have these really cool conversations, but to have like someone that is a sister, has your back, like I'll come and sleep on your floor. You don't get that all the time, to be able to trust someone.
Or people that's not going to judge you about the things that you do. They accept you.
So people don't understand fall. They don't understand get up. They don't understand it can happen to you. I never feel like I always know where I've been, but I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah.
So in the present moment, celebrate and also bring. I always think of people when I'm on a hill and I look down and you're supposed to be my friend or my spouse or whoever, and I look down on you and I turn my back against you. Now for certain reasons. But for the reason is you
know they're not gonna stab you.
Right.
While it's turned.
So don't I feel like we ought to pull each other up.
Yes.
Pull each other up. Because I want you to be great, because you never know what you may bring to me in the past or in the future.
Yes.
So you got to be able to lay them hands and bless somebody else.
Well, I'm gonna say it like this. To me, I want everybody around me to be successful. And that's why I don't like to hang out with people that are not ambitious.
Yes.
Like if you are okay with just not making it and you just
that's the problem.
we're not gonna vibe because I'm in a different space than you are, and it's not a commonality. And I think you do gravitate to people that you have more in common with.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes, you may have had something in common with someone at one time, but you outgrew that person, or they outgrew you, or you grew in different ways, and now your friendship doesn't work because you're on different journeys, you're in different places, and you just no longer have commonalities that keep you.
Y'all not feeding into each other.
No.
Yeah.
No. And you know what? And I don't think that's by accident. Because God, I think, puts people into
seasons.
Yeah, exactly. You just said it.
Yeah. In 2021, when I announced my divorce and like, I'm single, I needed to have friends who wanted to go to the club with me. You guys both live way in the burbs. I knew y'all weren't coming out on a Friday night, taking Uber to go and sit at the bar.
Because you've been busy.
I was like, shut up.
That's the friend. No, I was like, good Lord, she is busy.
Yeah, Rechelle.
Because I remember being busy too. When I went first through that divorce, I was like, you can't catch me. Right?
This is my first time not having any kids. I was like completely by myself. I've never.
Yeah.
I've been the oldest sister, and I had my son young, and then I got married right away. So this was like my first time. But I knew like I was going to have to meet some girls who would be cool with going out and having a good time, and who stayed in the area near me. That was a season. And those were really cool women. Those were women that I got to associate with for a season. Then in 22, I said, well, I'm studying real estate. I got to go inside. I got to focus on my business.
Go back in.
So that was a season where I'm like, okay, I need people who are okay with me being able to step away for a time. They won't get offended. Like, why are we not hanging out anymore?
What's wrong?
What did I do? Are you mad at me? No, I'm in the house because I gotta focus.
I never get offended by people.
Me either.
Me and Lisa have been through it. We're gonna have our moments, but I had to decide it also when we got back really connected, because we've had years where and it goes too far, and I miss my friend who I can call and be like, girl, I can't. Well, listen. This is what we gonna do. The realness and the rawness. And yes, we have got away from friendships. And sometimes that's God saying, listen, I need you both to grow so that you can be better for each other in your relationship and your friendships or whatever. So I know that we experiencing that. But I said, you know what? About growth and understanding me and understanding myself is that it's certain people I need in my life, period. And that's why I said, you know what? I ain't gonna let those times. So I'd be like, hey, all right. And she'd be like, well, girl, I needed that spiritual moment. This and that. You know what I'm saying? So I know that, and my kids, they love their Auntie Lisa.
Auntie Lisa. I think it's good.
And they're messy too.
The kids are?
Yeah, they'd be like, you and Auntie Lisa talking now? Oh, okay. That's how y'all do it.
I think it's okay to take breaks in your friendship. I think sometimes you need to, especially when things get a little heated.
When you don't understand. And we sometimes we fall in different places, and we fall on the rocks that we feel ashamed or this and that, but we forgot, man, this has been my friend
forever.
So I don't.
And you know what? Like if you're going through something like me, I know I'm the type of person that if I'm going through something, a lot of times I don't want to burden other people with what I'm going through. And sometimes it's just that I'm going through something and I need to be by myself so I can do the reflection, the self-reflection or the working through it that I need to do. And you know what? Saying that you need people that also understand that I had to step away for me and what I'm going through, and it has nothing to do with you.
Yes, just how I am. I know Lisa knows I can be a real hermit. People will be like, Rechelle, like this.
Me too.
And then I disappear.
But you know what? See, we've known each other for a really long time. I posted something on my Instagram recently that says, like, if I need to clear up any conversations, just please give me a call. Because if you don't hear from someone, you shouldn't immediately get offended like they're mad at you or you've done something. You should pick up the phone and say, hey, babe, are you good? Are we good? Send a text.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Don't assume.
But that's projection when people do that, because they're in their mind, they're projecting.
That's insecurities, that's low confidence, bad vibes. That's something
all of that.
Yes, that's something that you have on yourself that you have now projected onto me, and I'm over here praying, trying to figure out when I'm gonna make the next sale on this real estate home, and you are mad at me because I haven't called you, and I'm not even thinking about you. I'm thinking about the bills that I have. Why would I call you and be like, girl, let's go out?
We should know which burdens to, because every time I talk to you, I don't want to hear.
Yes.
I don't want to say this in a way to where, because I need it. But if I call Lisa, I said, I don't know how I'm going to do it. You better listen.
Right.
Certain people.
But you've earned the right to do that, Rechelle. I don't want everybody calling me all the time with problems. I don't want a Debbie Downer all the time.
So like heavy.
Yes.
I can't carry all them bags for you.
Yes.
But I can surely, one side, feel like, okay, some people.
Cereal. They like the cereal baggage carrier.
Yes.
There's no.
It's bad energy. It's
no
a
hope.
no.
No, but it's always hope. However, it gets tiresome. It gets tiresome. And the weight of my own shoulders I got to carry. So the weight of everybody else's is already. We as women, and I'm sorry, as Black women as well, we carry the weight of so many. And whether we know it or not, I'm in my job, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, we not always knowing how to navigate through this. So I can't call you with every burden that I have. But I should be able to call you. I should be able to. And I had if I could speak on it, a young lady. I know her, and but I hadn't heard from her in a while. And I was like, well, I remember the last time I made sure she was good. I said, okay, well, if you need anything, I'm here for you. Whatever I can do. I always make sure that if I can help, I will help.
Yeah.
And I made sure when I told her, I said, listen, because she just moved to Houston and got 2 kids. So I know the struggle is real. And you're trying to make a change. I can't be mad at that kind of woman.
Yeah.
Because she's trying to make a difference in wherever her life or whatever the situation. When you see people trying, I'm out to kick them down? No. But when she reached out to me, she said, hey, you were on my mind and this and that. And I said, okay, yeah. Because I know the last time I said, okay, you good? And I'll invite you. But when I see that, sometimes I know that we're all kind of going through whatever we're going through. But she said that, I was embarrassed to tell you or embarrassed to say I didn't have the money or whatever the situation was or whatever she was going through, Christmas was, and I was like, y'all, my heart felt heavy because I understand and I know where she's been. And I can't say that I can walk in everybody's shoes.
Yeah.
However, I can understand what this woman was feeling. And, and I was like, listen, if you ever need anything and I can help you, don't hesitate. But I know the strongness of us won't allow us to reach out all the time or, understand that it's okay to, talk to someone or see what.
If you need help, then ask for help.
Yeah, then ask for it. But, and it's because we try to make our own ways and try to figure things out on our own. But at the same token, when she told me that, and I said, listen, wherever you need. And I just had another woman to say the same thing to me, but I didn't know her. And she was like, I was going through it. And sometimes when we're going through it, we're going through it. And but if you ever need a shoulder or a friend to call, then I am that friend. I don't want you to feel like, no, you can't turn to me because this woman could be on the verge of suicide or just a total meltdown.
But see, it's a difference. It's a difference in someone having a,
real crisis in their life or a regular crisis.
Yeah, it's difference between somebody really having a crisis or a hard time and they just like, girl, you know what? I just look today. I need to just go have a drink and I need to go vent because I'm just having this hard time. Other than that's different than somebody who every time you talk to them, it's something. Yeah. It's just something negative or
brings
heavy.
You down.
Yeah,
every time you're talking to this person.
Yeah, it's like their energy is always heavy or whoa, it's me. I'm feeling sorry for myself. Stuff is always happening to me. It's that kind of.
It's the wrong mindset. You know what? No poison can kill a positive thinker and no medicine can save a negative thinker. When a person's constantly negative thinking, it doesn't matter like how positive you try to be to them. There was a girl that I had met and I kept sending her like affirmations, like, babe, try listening to this. Maybe you're thinking about it the wrong way. Maybe this is a blessing and just like I sound crazy talking to her because she's looking at me.
She shut it down every time. Every time. Nope, this ain't gonna work because this.
Nope. And I'm getting tired of talking to her because I feel like I'm constantly pushing her and it's not reciprocating. This friendship now is always me
draining.
Yes, I'm always like pushing.
That's not friendship.
I have no problems with this person, but this cannot
I'm not
be
a therapist in certain situations.
I can't have a friendship with this person. This isn't going to reciprocate.
Not on the same page.
It's not given.
No, it's a burden.
It's taken.
It's actually starting when you are in a friendship with someone, you start feeling burdened or that you're just tolerating the person because they won't go away. Then that's like your cue. Like, this person is just, I need to start distancing myself. This friendship is not for me. It's not bringing me anything positive.
I'm not hanging around nobody that's always sad, mad, jealous, irritated, or offended about everything. You're not going to drain me. That's what the quote says.
Oh.
And I completely understand that one.
I can't even do it anyway.
Well, you know what? And I've been around someone that was always they was always offended. They always thought somebody was acting funny with them or being a certain way. And my whole thing is this: if people acting funny with you, why do you keep hanging out with them, or hanging around? But then it's like you also have to start looking at it like you're the one who's always saying somebody is doing these things. They're always acting funny with you, or they're always. So at some point in time, you might want to look in and see why you're always feeling that way. Is it legitimate, or are you just always offended about nothing, or overly sensitive about everything?
It comes back to the mindset and what you're projecting. So in your mind, you are offended because of something that's going on that I have no idea about. So I'm sitting up here talking to you about something. And you're offended, but I don't
even know that you're offended.
I didn't know that was a trigger. I remember I met a girl and I said, chick, hey, chick. And she was like, please do not call me. Please do not call me a chick. I find that very offensive. And all of a sudden, I wanted to be so offended because of her response to me. I was like, she acted like I called her a bitch or something. Please don't refer to me that way. So immediately my response was going to be, and then I caught myself like, she has a problem, there's something going on with her.
It ain't got nothing to do with me.
You better stop that right now because this is a her thing. This isn't a you thing. So I immediately said, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, is Doll okay? Can I call you Doll? Hey, Doll. And she was like, well, I would just like for you to call me my name. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Hi, whatever. But that
might be just
exchange, I was like, okay, I'm never going to hang out with this girl again. Right. That was so weird.
So this is reminding me of, I know you watched Love and Marriage, Huntsville, when the whole sweetie, don't call me sweetie.
God.
I was just like,
I mean, I don't think my girlfriend's call.
I was like, what is this thing? That's what I was. I was like, so what is this thing? Is it the way you're saying sweetie or because to me, I'm like, I wouldn't necessarily be offended with sweetie, but I guess if it depends on my relationship with the person. Like if I think they're being
condescending,
that's the only way.
Sweetie is code for okay, bitch.
Right.
Okay, sweetie.
Okay.
But in that moment, they were kind of like arguing. They were kind of like, so, and the girl was already on the
don't call me sweetie.
Watching those reality shows,
you don't know the background.
Makes me so uncomfortable sometimes because sometimes they're on 10 being offensive, and I'm just like,
yes,
this is such a.
And I could never do a reality show because
the drama is dumb
and this is so much
toxicity.
And it is something that when as sisters and as girlfriends and wives, and when we're watching these different things, we got to remember, y'all, this is not our reality.
Right. Yes. It's entertaining sometimes. Now I'm entertained. That's why I do watch. But I would not want to be in because I'm the type of person that if I don't like you, I'm not hanging out with you. I'm not going to subject myself to being around you if I don't like you.
Right.
But I know that in those type of shows, they have to be around each other even if they don't like each other.
Yeah, that is a good point. And I've had to do different events here in Houston. There are people that I run into that I do not like them. I can be cordial to them. I can be polite to them. And if a publicist has invited me out to an event, I definitely don't want to be unfriendly so that everyone in the room knows I have a problem with this individual.
Right.
So for the sake of this is my job, this is, I've been asked to be here to perform a task, I can be polite. The problem is on social media, you have photographers, they take pictures, you post pictures, and now everyone thinks that you are best friends because you were pictured in a photo op with someone who
that
we're all
working,
here.
You're working.
It's a job. Guess what? I'm going to focus more on real estate because there is not enough money for me to be around people that I do not like.
Because you don't even want to be around people at work that you don't like, to be honest.
Right. You have to be careful with your friendships that you have in a work environment. If they don't like you and something happens, they can go to HR and you can lose your job. Right. That's not a normal type of friendship. So although I've had friends in a working situation, if it affects my money, then there's a certain level of professionalism that I have to have with these people. That doesn't mean that this is my friend. My sisters and I lost a job before. The three of us worked at Telecheck, and my sister was upset with one girl. And when we saw her in the bathroom, me and Michelle said something to the girl. We were like, listen, when we get home, we gonna get you, basically is what we said. And somebody was in the stall.
And they heard
the conversation, and they went to HR.
And y'all got fired.
And all three, me, Michelle, and Tabitha, lost our job because of the girl. The girl was her roommate. So we still had to go home and deal with that situation. But one thing I have learned is that work friendships are not real friendships. If it's a consequence and I'm going to lose my money, I'm going to be polite to you.
That's why I don't date at work.
My work environment it's a podcast.
Oh, yeah, yours is different. But I'm just saying with me, I'm not,
Exactly.
So I have to be cordial to these people who I know are talking behind my back, who I know are disrespectful. I'm acting accordingly.
Your money.
Absolutely.
And, I think sometimes, too, when friendships end, it doesn't have to be a bad thing.
That's beautiful.
It doesn't have to be ugly. It doesn't have to mean that something bad happened.
Right.
That it was this big disagreement or fallout. It doesn't always have to be that way. It can just be that, you know what? I just no longer want to be friends with this person because...
Well, that sounds bad, Tonya. No, I'm joking.
No, I'm saying it in such a sweet way.
No, I no longer want to be friends with this person because I no longer have things in common with them.
Yeah.
Or I don't feel like we're
y'all going in different directions.
Yeah. We're kind of like what happens with people's marriages. Like you either grow together or you grow apart. Or you know what I mean? You can grow and just be going different directions, but it doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, it had to be, we got divorced because somebody cheated or somebody did something.
Right.
But no, I always, people ask me what happened in the marriage because if they see me and my ex-husband, we are very cordial. We're very cordial. We hang out.
Yes.
Granted, we do have two
beautiful
kids.
daughters.
Yes, my daughters. And so it's important for that relationship to be good. One, because it's not my children's fault.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I have to make a grown-up decision. Some things that we're going to do. And we have, as adults, grew. Even though we're not married, we have grown.
To be close or better
to be
friends.
Closer, but it's not someone that I am doing anything. We're co-parenting, and you really can do that. I'm a witness to that, and not have other relationships with them.
Love this topic. I want to stay here for just a second because you can outgrow friendships and nothing bad has happened. You just have decided we're no longer compatible. We no longer have things that are in alignment. But the beautiful thing is if we pivot to a relationship, protecting your relationship. I've never heard you publicly go and bash your ex-husband. And we've seen different shows where people have publicly
bashed the ex.
But I love it when people get their divorce and nobody ever knows what happened. It's none of our business what happened. And even if they gave us,
what is it going to do for you?
It does absolutely. It's none of our business. What you need to know is it didn't work out. Unfortunately, I've learned my lessons. I'm taking some time out for myself, but to go and bash, that has a lot to do with how you handle your friendships, how you handle relationships. If it doesn't work out, we don't need to know all.
Because those details affect you and only they do affect me.
The culture that we're in overshares.
Yeah.
Overshares. You don't have, the only thing I need to know is that you're not out here married anymore. Now you single. Right. I don't need to know all the details.
Not unless you want to share it. I'm not going to ask you about it. If you want to share it with me, then you share it with me. But if you don't, I'm not asking ooh, so what happened? Why did y'all, why did this happen?
That's a different level of friendship too. That's in the friendship where we feel as though we're ready to share as well, when those things go sour or whatever they happen.
Yeah, because I've gone through some stuff and I don't ever remember any of my friends calling me girl, what happened? I would just be hanging out. I'm all on the news. None of my friends, when I was going through all that, none of my friends actually said, Lisa, what happened? Everybody was like, do you want some coffee? Do you want to come over? Are you okay? But nobody ever, they just waited for me to talk about it. It probably took 6 months, a year, years. It took a while for me to feel comfortable with
bringing it up.
Yes.
Yeah, because
it was so traumatic.
Process.
Yes.
And a lot of people forget that.
And then, but that's just about respecting somebody else's process and their space. What they need out of it. That's more so than you know what your friend needs and then you know how to back off.
Yeah. Also noticing if I feel like Rechelle and her guy are not together because she's been out a couple of weekends in a row with me when normally this weekend she would be out with him. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to wait for her because sometimes that person's still trying to figure it out and they don't want to talk about it yet. They don't want to speak too soon. And I was telling one of my girlfriends called me and I said, once you get married, there's something that you learn, which is you never want to share too much about your relationship because your friends
and friends.
Yes, we remember. Girl, remember what he did to you.
I told a friend one time, don't tell
nothing else.
No, don't tell me nothing else because because in my mind, you gonna stay. I know you're gonna stay with this person. I don't want to hear all the bad things that he did to you. Don't tell me. I don't want to know because you're gonna stay with the man.
Right.
So
what's the point?
Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
What you do?
Yeah.
That's your business. Just long as you
I don't even think it's just marriage. I think if you have a boyfriend or just someone you're dating or whatever, if y'all are having issues, I don't think you share that all the time with your family. Because I can tell you, I learned that young. With my mom, with my mother, when I had a boyfriend in high school or something, and he did something, and I told my mom. My mom was madder at him than I was, and then she was mad at him long after.
Right.
He would come to the house. She would be like if we once we decide, she would be giving him the stank
I
eye.
that too. And I listen, going through relationship, I remember that. I told my dad and my brother they ready to box such and such.
Right. So unless you're ready to end it with that person,
I'm like, never mind. I will never say one thing because they ready to go to bed and we come back hunky dory.
Right.
Like, I know y'all didn't. Okay, so about that, I stretched the truth a little bit.
Oh, and then you stretched the truth.
Fabricated it. Yeah.
So I'm a ride or die
mad.
friend, and
Yes.
Rechelle would call me because she would be like, when we were in college, she would call me about this guy that she absolutely loved. And one day he wasn't.
Absolutely loved. I was just, it was just.
Now 20 years later, she's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So
it just lasted
she
so
calls
long.
me one day and she says, he ain't answer the phone. Like, let's go to his place.
Oh, y'all did the drive-by.
We did more than a drive-by. We did more than a drive-by. So we went to his house. We knocked on the door. And he wasn't answering the door, but we heard music in the background. Oh, so we knew someone was in there. So Rechelle's like, we know you in there. Oh, we know you in there. We not leaving. We sat on the steps. I mean, we were like causing havoc.
And then the friend come out, listen.
Right.
Listen,
he
better
not
get back
coming
in
out.
and then,
What you doing
and then
in
he peeping
there?
in the window. He's scared.
Who
He's
you
to
got
himself.
in there? But Rechelle, did you take him back after all that?
Probably so.
I know, see, so I was like, Rechelle, I mean, like, you gonna have to do this by yourself.
Especially when you're young, you'll go back. You hopefully you
Yeah.
grow out of that, but
You grow. It can't be every relationship.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
like you can't keep playing the fool all the time.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can't say that I was playing the fool.
No, but you know what I mean.
You know what I'm saying? But I know I know what you're saying. I can't say that I was
like
out
you
there
just,
being an angel.
I'm thinking like when you're young though, when your boyfriend, you go do your little dirt, but then you still wind up going back to them because that's what y'all do. Y'all do that. This little.
We just doing some do. We just doing the most. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Doing the most.
Those were the good old days. We used to do drive-bys and see if the light is on, see if it's car.
I did look, but you know what? When I did one of those before, but I did it by myself. I did.
But I mean,
You are a loner.
I was
like
like,
to deal with it by yourself.
I did. Well, I think if I would have, I think at the time, if I would have felt like I had somebody that I could brought with me, I probably would have. But at that moment,
yes,
you know how girl
had to get it done.
Yeah, I was like, I felt it in my soul. I have to get up right now.
If we didn't experience these type of things being young,
we wouldn't be where we are.
We wouldn't be where we are. And some people are experiencing these now.
Oh my God.
And that's the hardest part for us to look in and understand because maybe they've never had to go through that.
Absolutely.
Rechelle, would you like to use a microphone?
Okay, great. So I'm so sorry. Yeah. So listen, some of these people, friends and associates or whatever, they're going through this now.
Right.
Whereas they didn't go through it when I was 20.
Right.
19. So dumb stuff. I call it.
Yeah.
But that young love, puppy love, whatever the situation was. But at the same time, so sometimes we pass judgment, not understanding that, hey, they may never experience this at this level.
Yeah, that's why you should try not to judge other people's situation.
Watch your words and how you come across as people or as friends or associates, whatever it may be, because someone may not ever experience what you experienced in your younger days or your younger years.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's absolutely.
That's the reason why, like, for me, to be a friend, it takes a couple of little scenarios and situations. There's time in it that makes us like, this is my friend.
Right.
Okay, this
let's
is a
ride
friend.
it out over there.
Right.
We're going to be on the homeless shelter together. We're going to ride
like,
together.
we done been through some things.
We
listen to affirmations together.
We're going to get this divorce. We're going to have to get in church together. If y'all can't go to church together, whatever you do in your religion or whatever it is, but time is of essence.
Yeah.
And we have to really look at things and look at who we are. And God said, listen, y'all play too much. And you need to get it right. And as we got it right,
y'all were probably able to come back together because y'all never disrespected each other when you did your fallout.
So true, yeah.
Yeah, and you know
and
what?
It's the foundation of the friendships. Too. And a lot of times we meet friends through wrong reasons, and it's just like, I was friends with her for the wrong reasons, or I was in a relationship for the wrong reasons with the man, or whatever the situation. Right. And those are factors in. A
successful or unsuccessful friendship, relationship. Yeah, that's true.
That's very, very.
Yeah, and along with that is just that, you know what? I feel like people are in your life for purpose.
Right.
Either you're learning from them, they're learning from you, or you're there to help each other some way. And then sometimes with people, the lesson gets learned and then those people are removed from your life. And that's why I was saying earlier, it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes the purpose for you being in each other's life is fulfilled and now it's time to move on.
Yeah.
I don't think God puts anybody in your life by accident.
I love that.
And it's not just for us to go have fun together. Kiki, you know, it's more to it. Yeah, it's always, I feel like, always more to it. So I'm never upset or mad about anyone that is no longer in my life. I appreciate them for the time we had at that time in life, that period of life. It served its purpose. I appreciate them for whatever it was. And now it's like I'm looking forward to the next phase, you know, or whoever new God is gonna bring and however they're gonna show up, you know. And it's happened even like, you don't know how many jobs I got from people that I knew or that saw something in me.
Someone else in order to elevate life or wherever it is there. I know I've been in a position to, hey, I got a position here.
Yeah.
I helped a friend.
Yeah, I've always.
Some of them I won't help again. But at the same time, I'm just being real. Some I'll be like, no, I remember what you did last time, baby. I'm going to see what I can do.
Like, bitch, I ain't helping you.
Yeah, no, you put my name on the line.
Right.
Yeah. Like, this your friend? What do you mean this one? Whenever someone starts, this your friend? This is what you, okay, you know.
So, yeah, I'm always trying to help because so many people help me and put me in positions or saw things in me. And help me. And even with my house, you know what was so crazy is that I feel like God brought when I was getting my house, he brought the right people, the right real estate person. Even the lady at Lennar, girl, she was so nice. She kept saying, I wish I had a daughter like you. Would give me the biggest hugs. But once I made the decision on the house, she was like, we're going to make sure you get that house.
Yes.
It was like,
man. And did he? Did he get do it?
Yeah.
Girl.
Won't he do it?
Yeah.
And in like a month, in a month.
Yeah.
And a half. It's how fast
One
it
day
went.
Tonya called me and said, I'm buying a house. I was like,
but it
I
literally.
have not been to the house.
Girl, okay, you gonna come, but you gonna come.
Yeah, well, let's do something.
We've been trying.
We were trying to plan.
We were trying to look. We were trying to plan something for New Year's Eve, and then other things happen.
We just can't. We just got to do it, y'all.
Yes,
let's just do it because you have to celebrate your blessings and your growth.
Girl, yeah, because I've been there 3 years.
Hold on, Tonya. Stop. It's different.
The pandemic happened.
Oh yeah,
but you know what? I think it's so important to celebrate your friends. And if you're around people like Tonya get a house,
I don't care if Tonya got an apartment.
Yes, congratulations. It's the bomb. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, Lisa's been there, and
she told me a couple of times.
But I have to call Tonya and be like, Tonya, what are you doing today? I'm coming over. Like,
but it's like me. I'm a planner, so it's like we do.
That's
have
why I
to
say
plan.
sometimes we just.
She is an HR corporate. Very important person.
Plan.
So I'm working a schedule. Yes, I definitely respect it. But I know how Tonya is. So I know, like, let me just drive out. Or I'll be like, Tonya, what are you doing next weekend? Let's go for brunch.
Yeah.
I will put myself on the calendar.
Yeah, we have to plan. Y'all just random.
Yeah, we'd be like, let's go eat.
We hungry.
But are y'all close to each other?
We'll make it there by 4 o'clock.
She's in the Woodlands.
Oh,
she's just as far as you.
Yes,
you in the Woodlands?
Stop, buddy. Damn. What is that?
Girl, you come to my house, you're going to have to spend a night.
Right.
Okay, Tonya, we'll do that. We can do a whole pajama.
That's big for me, having people in my house, because I don't like to just invite.
That's how you know if someone is a real friend. You know in real life, you're not going to just have anybody at your home.
Yeah.
That's a safety issue. You're not just going to be inviting people.
Or sometimes people don't know when to leave. Like, or
oh my God, speak on that. Oh my God. Like, listen,
they will like wear it out.
They just come see you and they be like, but I want to move in.
Yes. Yes.
Wow,
yes.
what's going on? Talk to me before you get here, baby. That's why I can't open up the door. Good Lord.
You are absolutely right.
Right, just pack. Why did you come with that duffel bag?
No,
what
ma'am.
was the reason behind
no,
that?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
Rechelle can come. You can come. But everybody can't come.
Yeah. When I'm at home, it's where I'm either relaxing or cleaning. So I don't want to invite
candles
people.
are going.
I'm like, when I want to go and have a good time or hang out with the girls, I don't want it to be in my house. Let's go meet somewhere and
because you got to do too much work.
Yeah, so it's like, let's meet somewhere.
Depending on the friends you have.
Yeah.
Just like we both came with wines or whatever.
Right.
At least may have $5 to her name. But not now. But we're going to be like, girl, we got a whole bottle of Berenger.
We'll figure it out.
We're going to figure it out. And that's how, it doesn't, because I don't know, you might be trying to buy a yacht.
Right.
I ain't saying you cheap or whatever.
But you might be saving for something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People need to respect. That's another thing. Respect what I'm going through when I'm trying to save up or like you trying to go back to school and this next.
Yeah, I'm trying to sell houses. Honey.
Right.
Every coin costs. It took like it cost like $3,000 or $4,000 for me to like become a legit realtor without selling one house.
Why we call you the boss?
Yeah, and you know what? If people tell you, "Hey, girl, you know what? My money kind of tight right now. I ain't gonna be."
And what
able
that mean?
to
I got
respect
you.
it. Right. Either I got you or I understand I'm not going to make you spend your coin or inviting you to stuff that I know. Or if someone said that to me, I know their money is tight. If we went out to eat, I'll be like, oh, girl, I got you.
How often is your money tight?
You know. But you need to start looking at why your money is.
Well, Tonya just said she doesn't have those kind of friends because she doesn't like broke friends. You need to be thriving.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so let's pivot into this conversation about friendships with the opposite sex. Now,
friendships or relationships?
I have friendships with the opposite sex.
Well, I would like to talk about friendships, but I'll be honest, I very few male friends that are just platonic friends. I'm very appreciative of the two guys that I have that are my male friends. You guys have been in this same bucket with me. Or guys that be wanting to be your friend don't really be wanting. They
only in your friend because you put them in the friend zone. But most of the time they do want
something more.
Yes.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
they're gonna stay in their friend zone.
I have a couple. I have like a couple of guy friends that I know they want more than just friendship. But I've made it clear like that's what we're gonna be, and so you also know that things you can do and cannot do with them because of that type of situation.
Right, Rechelle? Yeah,
the friend zone. That's a very sketchy zone. You stay in there, so it's just. So I have to watch the friends, the opposite sex. I don't know that I really have friends like that, you know what I'm saying, to be honest with you, because I always kind of know that some are feeling a certain way. So I really can't call them my friends.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Well, it's not really that they're your friends. I don't know how it's somebody.
What do we call them? Exes? I only
not
have
even
no,
exes.
they're not even exes because they're not somebody you was with.
But exes try to come and be like, well,
right. I feel like is this in my head? I feel like it's not possible, at least for me.
Well, one of my guys, I call him he is a friend, you know.
But is he a friend that wants to be in a relationship?
He wants to be in a relationship.
That's why it's hard to call him a friend.
But he does.
Are y'all calling the handyman's friends, or are you just calling?
Well, he does. He does. He does handy things.
That's what he is.
He does handy things at my house, but that's not.
Oh my God! I meant the other. Tonya, he's not the. He's
on their way.
Not that other handyman.
He is on away. He is waiting for Tonya to take him out of the
but I know
waiting period.
But he is I think he's a cool, like, me and him, we laugh together. We laugh a lot together.
So
we
what's
go
keeping
out
y'all apart, though? He ain't got his money right. Which one is it?
Girl, no, I'm not. You act like I'm a gold digger.
No. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean like that.
Tonya make a lot of money, so yeah. You gotta have some money.
Well, Tonya, listen, I don't mean...
No, it's not like that.
No, money together, he might be in a situation because...
No, he's already in a relationship, and that's why I don't entertain it
on that level. Okay, that's understood.
I'm selfish. I don't want somebody I have to share with somebody else.
And I'm a wife, so I'll never think like that.
Right, and that's how you have to think.
Okay, then we can't see each other. I don't. This is not what I do.
You can't be first. Why I want to be last?
Like I respect marriage. My parents were married, and you know what I mean. My mom was married for a second time after my father. So I don't. To me, it's just not a comfortable. I don't want to be in that situation.
We as women, we want to say, girl, I wouldn't do that if I was you. That he's married, this and that. Also, you don't know what that woman has experienced.
Yeah, agreed.
Even though we say it's so wrong.
It is.
Okay? But a lot of men don't disclose, and they'll treat the woman just like she's the first, and just because they spending money on it. And that's how they look at it. And so you have to understand, this man, he's married, he ain't leaving his wife. And if he leave his wife for me,
and to be honest, if he left his wife for me, I probably would not trust him, because then I would be thinking he's going to leave me for somebody else.
He's going to have somebody on the side.
Right.
Yeah, and there's another thing, whereas there are men that are married and that are happy, a lot of time has a mistress on the side. So the thing is, like, I don't care to get into all of that, but at the end of the day, like, as women, we have to choose to make a decision that
what's best for you as a person. Yeah. I could care less about what's happening over there.
Yeah.
I have to do what's best for me as a person. What makes me feel where I'm looking at myself sideways in the mirror, like, girl, you sure you want to be doing this? Like, is this really what you want to be doing? A lot of times we
make exceptions, but I mean, as some women, I can't speak for everyone, but at the same time, that loneliness is a hard place. We recognize it or not.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And so that's where we find ourselves in a situation where we
become desperate. But that's because that's past the loneliness. You can be lonely occasionally in your single life. But I think that when you become desperate, then you start accepting relationships that you wouldn't normally have.
Ooh, Tonya, you preaching today on this Sunday.
That's a desperate situation.
And you have to just have faith.
In the situation,
I know it's easy to say have faith. Faith is a huge thing, but God says if you have faith, it's the size
of a mustard
seed. Because there is someone out there for
you.
There is. He's so far
Don't
away.
give up, ladies. And you know what? Until you have your time that you're using to be with your man, build some great friendships.
And can I say something, since we're on this subject? Yes. But what I want to say is that if you cannot be happy by yourself with who you are, then you cannot be happy with anybody. I don't care what the man got going on. You're not going to be happy with him. You're going to bring whatever you have on the inside. If you have anger in you, you're going to bring that to the relationship. So I would say, like, spend that time when you're by yourself, getting comfortable with yourself, but also really working on yourself to make yourself better. So that you attract better.
See a therapist. You learn to talk through situations, whereas I may not be able to help you in an area that I am not trained in.
Yeah.
My advice not may be the advice that you're looking for.
I think people are more now starting to become more open to therapy.
Right, and therapy is a way of helping us with every
baggage
aspect of our lives, financial, spiritual, wherever guidance we may need. It's not saying that I can't trust God first. Why I'm seeking the help that I need for me as an individual, so I won't continue carrying these loads into every relationship.
And I don't know if this happened to you, but if you've ever dated someone that had childhood issues, like abandonment issues or father issues.
That guy that I liked, he had childhood issues. I couldn't do it with him.
Yeah. If you ever date someone like that, then it's like they're always broken, no matter what you do, how much
they worth is.
I was in a relationship with someone like that, and it was like the most exhausting relationship that I ever had. When I did get out of that relationship, I felt so drained and exhausted because it's like literally trying to fill up a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. You can never do it.
And it just keeps seeping out.
Based on this whole conversation, as we come to a conclusion, is that if you can build up solid relationships with women, because it's so important to have women friendships. Don't be the woman that can't get along with women, because that's not healthy. And you don't have to be friends with every woman you meet, but you have to have solid friendships, the few that you have, because those friendships teach you about yourself, teach you how to just be a woman, and then they teach you how to respond to conflict. And if you can do that with other women, surely you can do that with a man. Surely you can do that with people that work in business. with your customers. You know, when you go above and beyond for your friendships, then it's no problem to apologize to a customer because they didn't like your service or they didn't like your product. You have a successful business because you know how to have relationships and build on those relationships. If you're an awful person to yourself,
be a friend to yourself first.
But if you can't be a good person inside with just you, those thoughts that you have, those projections that will come from you will go on to your friendships, will go on to your relationships, will go on to your businesses, and none of it will be successful. If we can just remember when we meet people, of course, we know that everybody's going through something, but we can be friendly.
Kind.
We can be kind.
First impression is everything, y'all.
Yeah, because I'm being a good person to you does not mean
I'm weak
at all. And it doesn't mean that you slap on the title like that is my good girlfriend. I'm not your good girlfriend. I'm a good person. And I want to be there for you as a person. And I want to help you grow into being the best person, best friend, best partner, best business owner you can be. But let's take friendships, relationships, let's take all of this and just build on it and become just better. So before we sign off the podcast, in closing, what is your advice to any woman who says, you know, I have problems with women building friendships? For me, communication is key. Send a text message, pick up the phone, send a DM.
If you want the relationship to work.
If you want the relationship to work, I want to have a conversation.
If I did do something to you,
if I did do something, let me know so I can apologize. For me, my advice is to communicate. What's your advice, you guys?
Remember, communication is also taught and learned. See, we all don't know how to communicate. And so therefore we be like, you communicate with me. Well, the person probably thinking I'm communicating the best way I can and the best way I know how. So therefore, learning as people to be patient and not always assume that what I am to you is the same way you are to me. What you pick up on is that learn to be patient with each other. A lot of us are in a hurry for so many expectations of others.
Yeah.
We're in a hurry to develop something that sometimes may take a lifetime.
Yeah, friendships are developed in years.
Overnight.
Yeah. Tonya, what about you?
Me, I think that if it's a situation where you're a woman and you're always having issues with other women, then you need to take accountability for the part that you play in it.
Hello.
And you need to look at yourself and see, is it something I'm doing or am I coming off a certain way? You know, is this something that I'm doing that is causing me to have conflict with other women?
Yeah.
I think you kind of have to look at yourself because you are the common denominator. Why is it that I keep having issues with women? And I think you have to be accountable for whatever behavior you may have had in that. You know, am I a nice person or am I cutting with my words? You know, am I condescending? Because people feel that type of energy.
I apologize.
And, I apologize
to the person.
And I am wrong. It may take 3 minutes.
3 months.
Just own it.
It's gonna come, but it's gonna simmer for a minute on the stove.
At the end of the day, if the
she did say she was a Taurus, huh?
She is.
I will be there for you. I will try to be
loyal.
You're
loyal.
I am loyal to an extent. Loyalty.
I'm loyal to me first.
And and that's what you have to understand. And I expect that of you. Because if you're not taking care of you, how you going to be good for anybody else?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I love it. I love this conversation. I'm so grateful for you guys coming on today and sharing your Sunday with me. Little Sunday fun day.
Yeah.
The important message here is be loyal to yourself first. Know who you are, because if you know who you are, then you know the kind of people that you want in your life. You know what will work, what won't work. And it's nothing wrong with meeting people and knowing it's not going to work. It doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't make you a bad person.
Exactly.
You just know who you are, and that way you can accept people.
And it's okay.
And it is okay.
We don't have to be mad at each. We don't have to be mad or calling each other names.
We can still love each other and still support each other.
Just be like, you know what? We was on two slippery slopes. I was going down here, and you was coming up, and that
it's
was
all good, girl. I love you. I just ain't seen you in a minute.
I can't say how much I love you.
Have more fun, so that's what the couch has been today. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you guys for tuning in
for having us.
to In Their Closet. We'll see you next time.